Hi, my name's Adam, and today we're going to talk about Spotify and why you're still using it. So a couple of months ago, I made a video about why I was watermarking my music on Spotify and made a more general criticism of Spotify and its soon-to-be stepping down CEO, Daniel Ek. And let's do a quick recap of Spotify as a company. This is a company that, whilst it's completely devaluing music, is gaslighting people about how it's apparently supporting musicians. It's diverting money away from real musicians towards AI musicians, diverting money away from musicians towards people directly associated with the platform and Daniel Ek himself, using the money that should be going towards musicians to invest in AI military technology, and now running ads for ICE. Yes, the guys pulling naked children out of their beds in the middle of the night. So yeah, Spotify, bad guys. And before you tell me, yes, other streaming companies are awful, but Spotify is arguably the worst. And the only power a lot of us have is how we spend our money. And if you want to keep giving your money to Baron Harkonnen, then do what you want to do. But hopefully after watching this, you might want to make a change and maybe talk to some friends about it as well. Now, I get it. We don't like being told that something we're doing or something that feels normal to us is bad. Think about your average meat eater responding to a vegan diet. We've got used to just turning on a tap and there's music. And generally we associate that with Spotify. So telling the average person to leave Spotify is both a huge hit to their ego and just a massive inconvenience because right now it's just there. And at that first point, people can get really upset when you tell them Spotify is bad. Gay liberal guy Coombs all over the place with his socialism but still wishes he made money from his soy music. Alright, my issue with this is that you live in a country that you pay taxes to and that gov directly sponsors murder around the world. So should we remove you? Flip side, buddy.
Nice.
So this is the kind of insane straw man argument someone might give when they feel that their ego is getting a bit hurt. If I could just unsubscribe from my tax money funding the military, I would, but for now, I can't. But what you can do is unsubscribe from Spotify. You just click a button. It's a lot easier. Why don't you grow up? Spotify is the best opportunity for independent musicians. If you don't like Spotify, don't use it. I want to be a boy forever. It's not. I don't, and I don't. Now, I just said that I get it, but I also don't get it. Because by getting so angry in the face of someone criticizing Spotify, you're basically saying, I have an emotional connection with billionaire Daniel Ek, and I will defend him with passion and anger if his company is insulted in any way. So if you do get an angry reaction to me criticizing Spotify in this video, then please leave a comment, but please start it with the words, I have an emotional connection with billionaire Daniel Ek, and I will defend him with passion and anger if his company is insulted in any way. Gay liberal guy Coombs all over the place with his socialism but still wishes he made money from his soy music. Okay, let's look at the convenience side of things. Now, I wish that all the other streaming apps had an immediate and easy way of just transferring all your playlists from Spotify. Apple Music does have this, but only on more recent versions of iOS. But it's not as complicated as you might think. The two services I recommend most are Tidal and Crowbuzz. They are the services that pay artists the most per stream. It's still absolutely nothing, but it's better than Spotify. Now, they both use third-party services to transfer your playlists and liked tracks, and both Tidal and Crowbuzz have links on their websites which you can click and they'll just take you straight through the process. Crowbuzz actually gives you a free voucher code so you don't have to pay to use Soundiz, but Tidal unfortunately doesn't offer that free service if you're transferring over 500 songs, which I imagine you probably are. So you can either use Tune My Music and transfer everything over for $5.50 as Tidal recommends, or use Soundiz and transfer everything over for $6.50. Just remember to cancel your subscription as soon as you've made the transfer. Now, I get it, and this is the 10th time I've said now I get it, so sorry. Anyway, I appreciate the minor inconvenience here. You have to make a new account, you might have to pay for that account, then you have to cancel that payment after you've transferred all your music. As opposed to currently being on Spotify, where you open Spotify and it's just there. But come on, if we always do the easy thing, this is where we're gonna end up. You'll even get a little bit of a dopamine hit because you've got a new app to use and you've kind of stuck it to the man. One thing I do want to address has some nuance to it, so I do want to tread carefully. I got some responses regarding Daniel Ek's AI weapons company Helsing and their supply of weapons to the Ukrainian army. I'll read this one in particular. I don't want to defend big corporations like Spotify, but aren't the weapons that Daniel Ek is investing in being used in Ukraine to defend against Russia? Don't we need private weapons companies so that arms are accessible accessible to smaller countries who don't have the massive resources that giants like Russia and the US have. Still, Spotify, they don't pay their artists. I just think the weapons thing is a bit more complicated. So look, I'm extremely lucky not to be living in a war zone right now. I just think we should be somewhat wary of the Helsing PR surrounding this. Helsing aren't doing this out of the good of their hearts. They've identified a market and they're servicing that market. I'll put a link in the description to an article I found, but for the time being, their products have been described as being glitchy, unreliable, and overpriced compared to local alternatives, which to me seems like they're securing huge contracts to use Ukrainian soldiers as their beta testers, when there are other companies that Ukraine could secure weapons from that are more effective at a cheaper price. Helsing are also partnering with Airbus and Saab, both of whose provide weapons to the Israeli military. The point is, I think we should apply a bit more skepticism that Helsing and Daniel Ek are working in support of Ukraine. I can imagine the financial relationship is potentially a bit more predatory than we're led to believe. Also, they're a weapons company, so it's really within their best interest that there's a continuation of war. But I do want to say thank you to the people who commented on this, because generally the responses were very calm, very considered, and yeah, there's no simple or easy answer around that. So look, I wish this was more straightforward. I wish you could press a button and move all your stuff to another streaming platform, just like that. I really wish we could kill off streaming entirely and make people pay for music again.
Can you imagine a world without music streamers?
But in the meantime, if you're going to stay with Spotify, just remember these words. I have an emotional connection with billionaire Daniel Ek, and I will defend him with passion and anger if his company is insulted in any way. Thanks for watching. Have fun, take risks, make weird stuff. If you like this and you want to support my AI weapons company, please head over to Bandcamp and buy my music. Follow me in all the places. Why not give a like? Why not leave a comment? Why not subscribe? And then unsubscribe. And then subscribe again. Thank you. Goodbye. Spotify.